everybody, Chad the Gaming Dad back with you once again, and today we're going to do a little video about the latest game. Well, it's not the latest game anymore, it's been out for a little while. Callisto Protocol. There it is. Everybody has to go, hey, there it is, there it is. Well, I didn't get it digitally, so I actually have it. Anyways, Callisto Protocol. Yeah, it hasn't been getting the best reviews, has it? No. A lot of people are not real fond of it and everything, so here are my impressions. It's not really going to be a review because I haven't finished it, but I've put a few hours in there, quite a few actually, and not saying that I'm having the worst time with it. It's still kind of fun, but there are some issues with it, so let's see what we can do here. So first off, I just want to say it's not the worst game in the world, and I don't need to be waving this around the whole time, so I'll put that down. So it's not the worst game in the world, but it's certainly not the best. And I think the problem with this thing is expectations, maybe. People thought it was going to be the next greatest thing. They thought it was going to be, because it has something to do with Dead Space, with the developers of Dead Space from back in the day. People thought it was going to be another spiritual successor. I've heard that so many times, spiritual successor for this, that everybody overhypes a lot of stuff. Everything gets overhyped these days. And I think that's the problem. That's why in this video I wanted to talk about expectations as well. This game, if it was not sold to everybody as, you know, developed by the guys from Dead Space and stuff, if it was just a game, it still wouldn't be the greatest game in the world, but maybe it wouldn't have got as much hate. So let's just take a look and see what it is. Now, to me, it looks like this game here, it's really good looking. It's got great visuals, good sound, all that good stuff. To me, this is an 86er, the Order 1886er, if you know what I mean. Here's some video from the Order 1886, and as you can see, still looks pretty good. And this was the reason why I call it an 86er is when you get a game that has really great visuals but isn't really the best playing game, maybe not the longest game, things like that. This is one of those ones that you pull out when your friends are over or family members or somebody that don't really play games, somebody that's just like, oh, what's all this video game stuff about? Yeah, you want to put on that game that shows them the graphics that they've never seen before. So the best thing that the Order 1886 did was show off the PS4 and show what type of graphics it was capable of, things like that. So Callisto Protocol fits the bill pretty good for another old 86er. So speaking of Callisto Protocol, it's, like I said, not the worst game in the world. Gameplay-wise, it just gets stale and repetitive. You guys ever go out to, like, I don't know, a club, or maybe, you know, my kids, I take them to roller rinks, right? And you always hear this song.
Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all.
Yeah. Clap, clap, clap your hands, right? That one. The cha-cha slide. That's what this game made me think of while I was playing it. Because, see, look.
Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross.
I don't like the fact that, you know, I thought at first when I started playing it that you had to time your dodges. You don't even have to time it. It kind of plays itself. All you have to do is just be pushing to the left or pushing to the right when the guy goes, and it looks like he's going to swing at you, but it doesn't matter which side you lean to. You don't have to lean away from the punch or towards it. You just have to be leaning in some direction, and then after he misses the swing and then he comes in with the other arm, you just have to tip your stick the other direction. It's kind of not very challenging. A little bit easy. A little bit, yeah. And then all you do is you just take out your melee weapon, you whack, whack, boom, boom, boom. Maybe you shoot, boom. All those fun things. Yeah. And you do that over and over again. So you play the cha-cha slide, slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross, reverse, boom, hit him, hit him, hit him, shoot him with the gun, slide to the left, slide to the right, smack, smack, shoot, you know, on to the next guy. And the only time it gets difficult is when there's a whole bunch of guys together. You know, there's some outside segments, there's some inside segments. this game's just not scary. It's really not. Jump scares, some guys jump out of the ground. It's the same worm over and over and over again. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with this game is that it is the same over and over again, because once you've memorized where the guys are coming from, yeah, you might die, and the checkpoints are not that forgiving, so you're going to get pissed off when you die, because you're going to have to go back and redo a bunch of stuff, which could include spending money on upgrades, picking up a couple things. The only things that aren't exactly the same every time are the things that you pick up after you kill things. That seems to be random, but the levels themselves and where the enemies are not random. They don't vary at all. It's the same thing over and over again. So it's a matter of, can you memorize where the enemies are? Can you slide to the left, slide to the right, smack them, shoot them, smack them, go to the next guy, and memorize all of that and do it just right so that you don't die. Otherwise, you'll get one of a handful of death animations, which the update luckily has made it so we can skip those. They were pretty cool the first couple times, but, you know, every time he gets his head bashed in, it, like, cuts his head in half in the exact same spot. It's not like not like I'm looking for some crazy gore or anything, but it is a gory game. It's funny how his head breaks exactly in the same way, even if they bite him or they crush him, and I don't know what to tell you. So, there's kind of the Callisto Protocol in a nutshell. I don't really know what the story was or is. I'm just walking down corridors and killing big, ugly enemies that aren't scary, throwing them into spikes, cha-cha sliding a little bit, and smacking them with a hammer, or whatever that thing is. It's like a big knife melee thing. So, the game itself would be mediocre at best, but because the expectations were set so high, everybody's just taking a massive dump on this game when, I mean, I guess I just did too, but it's not because of the expectations. It just is what it is. It's good for an 86er. It's not the best game in the world. Maybe pick it up if you haven't already once it's like basement bargain sale. We're talking $20 or less. You'll have some fun with it. The sound is okay. The visuals are really good. You know, that kind of stuff. So speaking of expectations, there was another game that came out recently that a lot of people were saying was terrible, and that is Evil West. And it is not a AAA game. This might even be a single or maybe a AA game, depending on what you want to say. But this one had the expectation as well that it was going to be something that it's not. Again, you don't get mad at your dog because it's not a cat. You just have to accept things for what they are. And the Evil West game, yes, it's kind of got some things in it that are, I don't know. I don't love when everywhere you have to go is glowing. You know, it's got these chains that glow around everything, but this is an old school game built like an old school game. This reminds me of the good old days of the original Xbox, maybe some of the 360 type of stuff. It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't sound that bad. The story is really crazy. But again, you're not there for the story. This is a video game for video game's sake. It's just there for fun. People are expecting way too much out of video games these days, and some of the games that give you all these expectations, they're so deep and they're so involved that, I mean, for me, a gaming dad, the stuff going on, kids and everything running around, I don't have time to invest as many hours as it takes to actually learn and understand some of these big games. I play them for a few hours because I'm interested in them and I like how they look, and I promised myself I'm going to go back and play that one of these days, but I got a huge backlog of those. You know, a lot of those are just sitting around. So yeah, that's really what I'm talking about. Set your expectations for video games to be a video game and understand what they are and what they aren't. Callisto Protocol, it's an 86er. It's good to show off the power of the PS5, but you know, you'll play through it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's fun for a bit. Isn't that really what games are supposed to be about? So there you go. That's some of my rambling thoughts about Callisto Protocol and a couple other things. Hope everybody's doing well, and we will see you on the next one. So long, everybody. Hey, thanks everybody for sticking with me and watching the entire video. I hope you liked it. The best way to help out the channel is to leave a like, leave a comment, and tell your friends. If you'd like to support the channel further, there are links in the description. But otherwise, always remember that you never outgrow video games. My name's Chad the Gaming Dad, and we'll see you on the next one. So long, everybody.